It's a little bit too close for comfort for Paul Smith going into this final round of the Tillotson Formula Vee Championship. He was hoping to have wrapped things up yesterday, but his car got stuck in fourth gear. Nevertheless, he still finished in fourth position as Martin Farmer took his first win of the season. Today, Paul Smith must finish at least 13th to wrap up the championship. Farmer must take P1 or P2 to stand any chance. Red lights go on, and they go out. Away we go then. So Paul Smith in that AHS Dominator on pole position. He makes a good start. So does Graham Gant from the outside of the front row in the WEV. Martin Farmer there in the number 4 car with his Dayglow helmet. The red nose of that GAC as the rest of the field make their way through Redgate Corner for the first time. So it's very much an uphill struggle for Martin Farmer. Unlikely he'll take the championship. Most likely that Paul Smith will. He's had 8 victories this season to just the 1 so far for Martin Farmer, and that was yesterday. Farmer in third position. There's a spinner coming down the Craner curves. That's a frightening moment for Ian Jordan, who'll have been doing 100 miles an hour through the Craner curves, and the Class B champion, well, he's got a bit of work to do to get back into the Class B lead now in this race. Class B for cars running to a slightly more basic specification than some of the very front-running machinery, but Ian Jordan still pedals those cars very quickly. But as I say, he's dropped right back down the order now. There he is, you can just see him going through the shot at McLean's. He's not quite at the back of the field. Paul Smith, though, leads the way over the crest and down to the chicane for the first time. Look, he's already pulling away from Graham Gant in second place. Martin Farmer having a look down the inside of Gant, and he makes that look very easy under braking for the chicane. So Farmer goes second, so he's starting to do what he needs to do now. Gant is in third position. It looks like Ian Buxton is fourth. He was on the podium yesterday. And then fifth at the moment is Tim Probert, who started fourth on the grid for this race. But he's now coming under threat from Peter Belzy in that green Spider that's trying to go round the outside of him, going into Redgate Corner. But no, Tim Probert in the Storm, man from Yorkshire, able to hold off Belzy in car number 5. Belzy, who's 12th in the championship coming into this weekend, not having done all of the rounds this season. There's Gant, who's had a pretty good run of podium form. 5 podiums from the last 6 races, but under pressure here from Buxton. He's made some changes to the car for this weekend, and they seem to be working out pretty well for him. As I say, a podium finish yesterday. It was the second time he'd been on the podium this season. Had one at Pembrey as well back in June. So Probert then with Belzy behind him. There's a queue of cars lining up here for 5th position as well. Included in that group the likes of Craig Pollard, who's looking to secure 4th position in the championship. He is the number 92 car, but I think that's his teammate, number 41, Paul Taylor, another of the Bears Motorsport GACs that is just up ahead. Look at the cars, jink out of the slipstream. The toe, really important in Formula V racing. These cars not that powerful, but making sure that we get some good racing here. Aerodynamics, not too much in the way of them. So slipstreaming is an absolutely great way of trying to find a way past, and that's what Paul Taylor's trying to do. He's trying to do something different out of the slipstream there, going to the outside of the circuit. But Peter Belzy going down on the inside as well. It looks like Pollard is trying to follow him through, and whatever Taylor was trying, it's not worked because he's lost a position there to his teammate Craig Pollard, the trainee accountant from Diss. Through Hollywood they go, down the Craner curves. It looks like this battle for 5th position is the one to watch, because the first 4 cars have already made their way through the old hairpin now. So Pollard there is in 7th place. Paul Taylor, number 41, is in 8th position, just behind Probert and Belzy. Still though, Gant has some work to do to try and fend off Ian Buxton for 3rd position, as we wait for this next battle to come through. 4 cars involved in it at the moment. Pollard jinking to the right now, goes to the left. He's going to go to the outside, is he, of Belzy as they go into Coppice Corner. Oh no, he's not. And before you know it, there's another car involved as well. So 5 cars now involved in this battle. One to watch from further back down the grid, I'm sure he'll get involved later on, is the number 35 car of Daniel Pitchford, because he was a race winner, don't forget, at Snetterton earlier on in the season. So behind the number 41 car of Paul Taylor is Steve O, that's latched himself onto the back. And also as well, 55 is Peter Studer in the shade. His is the first of the Class B cars, as it's side by side for 5th position, and Peter Belzy in the Spider, the ex-championship winning car when it was in the hands of Jez Clark. He tried to go around the outside there, but Probert is doing a magnificent job here of keeping everyone behind him. Now Belzy goes to the inside line through the Craner curves, and that will also give him the inside for the old hairpin if he can stick it out. It's a brave man that does that through Craner curves though. And he can't make it work. So Probert, Belsey, Pollard, Taylor, that's 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th positions as they make their way under Starkey's Bridge. Still Gant holds on to 3rd place, but McLean's from Buxton as Paul Smith continues to lead from Martin Farmer. So it's looking good for Paul Smith in the championship, but this train of cars gets ever bigger, doesn't it? 6 cars involved. Steve-O is the man who could take 4th place away from Craig Pollard in the championship here, and Peter Studer in the 55 car, not having done all of the races so far this season. Tim Probert lies 8th in the championship, by the way. He's not had a podium finish this season, but he's had a few good consistent results inside the top 6 or 7 places. Belsey now, who came close to a win at Rockingham. It would have been his maiden win, but in the end that went the way of Ben Anderson, who has since retired from Formula Vee racing to focus on FF 1600. So Probert and Belsey and Pollard, and Studer has now made his way up into the 4th car within that group, so 8th position overall. Steve-O is 9th, and Paul Taylor, the man losing out, he's gone back down to 10th position. So 6 cars fighting over 5th, 2 cars fighting over 3rd place. It's still Gant, who has made changes to the car as the season has gone on. It really seems to have worked out for him. Well, Pollard now is up to 6th position. He's trying to go 5th here around the outside of Probert, but he might find that he loses out to Peter Belsey. No, he doesn't, so Pollard holds on to 6th position. 7th is Belsey in the green car now, and look, Pitchford has got himself involved as well, because his is the white car, number 35. So watch out for Daniel Pitchford in the Leastone, run by AHS. He's up to 8th place now, and with power to add. Had that victory at Snetterton early on in the season, but has not done all of the races this year. Not seen him out since the Donington rounds at the end of June, in actual fact. Bit of lappery to be done. That's the number 47 car, Stuart Roddick. His Shane is dispatched by this snarling pack of Formula V's, the 1300cc air-cooled engines. Working overtime here. Through McLean's they go. You can see Jack Wilkinson in that battle as well, so is Brenton Jones. They all made their way ahead of Paul Taylor. Whether Paul's got a problem or not, I'm not sure, but he's going backwards down the order as this race goes on. It's fight for 5th position, with still the lead being held by Paul Smith, Martin Farmer in 2nd, Graham Gant 3rd, and Ian Buxton in 4th position. But this is where the battle is at, and it's involving most of the rest of the field now, as Pitchford goes ahead of Belsey and up into 7th position. There's Peter Studer ahead of Steve-O, another of the AHS dominators, the same kind of car that is being used by Paul Smith. Now Pollard here having another fight for 5th position. He knows that he's in a title fight, or for 4th position in the championship, I should say, with Steve-O, so every point counts. He could do with getting ahead of Tim Probert here. So it's Probert, Pollard, Pitchford, and then Belsey. The 3 P's and a B turn their way into the old hairpin. 87 car there at the head of the group is for Jack Wilkinson. Number 15 is Stephen Bailey, now out in a GAC, having changed car partway through the season. Yellow flag there, so we've got a car that has stopped out on the circuit, I think, which the drivers just need to be aware of. No overtaking, of course, in a yellow flag zone. Hard to avoid in such a screaming pack as this. And a car in the pit lane, I'm afraid. Looks like that's heading back out, though. 88 is the car of Chris Wilshire, making his way into the chicane, as this pack is about to close in on him. And it's Pitchford now that's up to 6th position at the expense of Pollard. So a change there. There's Paul Taylor, and behind him is Brenton Jones, car number 46. That's the LB J86-2. And Ian Jordan, after his spin down the Craners on the first lap, back involved as well. 3 abreast almost going into Redgate Corner this time. Pollard gets 6th place back from Pitchford. Then it's Belsey, then it's Studer. Absolutely fantastic racing this from the Tillotson Formula Vee Championship. It's just a shame it's not for the lead of the race, but a great scrap. You can't take your eyes off it. Paul Smith, I can tell you, is doing what he needs to do to wrap up the championship, as number 92 Craig Pollard goes through. He's lost out again to Pitchford, therefore. Back marker lap being done. That's Wilshire trying to keep out of the way as the cars turn their way through McLean's once more. Yes, Wilshire keeping well to the left-hand side of the circuit as Ian Jordan goes past, the 43-year-old from Tunbridge. Probert from Yorkshire. A long trip for him for most of the races. On to the final lap, Martin Farmer still there in second position, but Graham Gant's certainly not let him get away. Paul Smith, I can tell you though, is out in a fairly convincing lead. 8 seconds his advantage going on to this final lap. With the crane as they go then. Farmer's second place, well, he's done as much as he can to try and wrest the title. If Smith stops in the final half a lap, then the championship will be Farmer's, but I think that's fairly remote. Belzy back ahead of Pitchford, so Pitchford having lost out a little bit, he's back down to 8th position, so it's Probert 5th, Pollard 6th, then it's Pitchford and Belzy side by side for 7th and 8th positions. Peter Studer there in 9th as well. Last round of the Tillotson Formula Vee Championship, so we'll see all of these cars and drivers back out again in 2014. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic year. Paul Smith though has had a fantastic 2013. He was the champion in 2012. He comes out of the chicane, takes the checkered flag, and is the champion in 2013 as well. Congratulations to Paul Smith. Second is going to go the way of Martin Farmer, and third to Graham Gant. Only 0.3 of a second between them as they take the checkered flag, and Ian Buxton having a relatively lonely 4th position, but 5th backwards still to be decided as the cars head their way down the Dunlop Straight. It looks like Probert's got 5th away, but who's going to be 6th? It's Pollard on the inside, it's Pitchford on the outside, and I think it's just going to be the white car of Pitchford that's going to do it. The Lee Stone is going to go through and take 6th position. 7th goes the way of Craig Pollard. 8th is Belzy in the end. Peter Studer wins Class B on this occasion in 9th overall, and is Shane. So here are the results then. Paul Smith taking the win by 8.6 seconds from Martin Farmer. Another 0.3 back was Graham Gant in 3rd place, with Ian Buxton 4th. Although Tim Probert was 5th on the road, after all his hard work, I'm afraid he was excluded for eligibility issues, so that promoted Dan Pitchford and Craig Pollard up into the top 6. And that was enough for Craig Pollard to take 4th in the championship behind Smith, Farmer and Gant. Celebrations then for Paul Smith as he retains the Tillotson Formula Vee title.
Paul Smith, well done on the final win of the year, and congratulations on the 2013 championship.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a long old season, but we got there in the end, so it's the main thing.
You picked up most of the wins this year, and you were kind of being given the championship in terms of the most wins, but you had to work hard for it.
Yeah, it would have been amazing to think that we won so much, started on pole and pretty much won every race start we started, but there was still that sort of niggle in your back of your mind that could have all passed and still lost the championship, but it just goes to show how tight it always is.
Are you going to be back next year to try and regain it?
I'm not sure. I'd like to go and do radicals, but obviously budgets with everything like that, but if not, yeah, we'll come back and do V. It's good fun and good racing.
Many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Martin, well done on 2nd place there in that Formula V race, and it was a bit smoky towards the end.
Yeah, thank you. Ideally, yesterday's race would have been today and finish on a high, finish with a win. But having said that, I think we were quite lucky to get to the end and finish 2nd, because Graham was catching me rather quickly in the last few laps.
But overall for 2013, you're pleased with how it's went?
I think, yeah, we have to say, yeah. It was an improvement on last year, but obviously it's always we finished most races 2nd, so it's a little bit disappointing. So it was a good job we got the win yesterday. But I guess we can, if we're back next year, we can try and build on that.
Well done on a pretty good end to the year.
Cheers, thank you.
Graham Gant, well done on 3rd place. Great way to end the year.
Yeah, very happy with the result today. We've had a good race yesterday. Had some problems which we managed to sort out overnight, and the team's put a really good effort in. And guys that even aren't in the team have been helping, which is really good. And managed to keep going today, which is give us the result we need for 3rd in the championship. So very happy. Wouldn't have dreamt that at the beginning of the year. So it's been a very good year for us.
Well done, Graham. Thank you.
Coming up after the break, it's bike sports action.